This guy, Denny Somack, got a lot of mad respect for. He'd been in radio for 1 billion years. He was the program guy at WYSP, air personality.
Yeah, I worked at even KTU when SJR owned it. And
this is really good. So Denny put together this whole Led Zeppelin thing that we're talking about. Remember a couple of months ago, we talked about how Led Zeppelin ripped everything off, but Denny's like the world's expert on all this.
I'm the world's leading expert in classic rock, and I helped create the original classic rock concept.
Led Zeppelin 1, that they took songs from other artists and put them on Led Zeppelin 1. And you're here to claim almost every, if not every song was taken.
Except one.
Now, they listed themselves as the authors of these songs.
Correct.
Okay. That's number one offense.
Right.
Number two, after their greatest hits album came out, they changed all of the credits to list the original writers.
Is that right?
That's correct. And in fact, that's still going on now as things...
Isn't that an admission of guilt?
No, that's an admission that Atlantic Records didn't want to fight it.
Let's start with Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, one of Led Zeppelin's...
Now, who does Led Zeppelin credit as the authors of this?
Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, they originally credited themselves. They got the song from Joan Baez's second album, which was a live album called Joan Baez Live in Concert Volume 1.
No one would ever think that that was a Joan Baez song. I always thought... Now, what did she call the song?
But it's not a Joan Baez song. She got it from a woman, and she properly... named Anne Breeden, who's a folk singer. Her son... when in his teens, heard his mom playing the song, and he said to his mom, "Mom, why are you playing a Led Zeppelin song?" And she goes, "What are you talking about? I've been playing this song since the 50s. Next thing you know, her son has a little visit to the attorney, and the credits change.
So let's listen in. Here's Joan Baez doing a song by Anne Breeden, and she properly credits Anne Breeden.
All right.
Here we go.
Baby, I'm gonna leave you. I said, baby, you know I'm gonna leave you.
What do you think?
Keep going on the Joan Baez one, Howard.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What is that, Fred?
Oh, I mean, at first I was a little dubious.
But
when I went to the lyric sheet for Led Zeppelin, it's a dead ringer.
Now, I gave it to your guys. I don't know if they queued it up or not. I have an interview with Robert Plant where he says in 1969, before he became the official singer, he went to Jimmy Page's house and Jimmy played him this record and said, "This is an example of the stuff I want to do. It's got shade and light." And I have Robert Plant actually saying that on this interview.
So he played him the Joan Baez?
Yeah, and he said, "There's a song by Joan Baez." He said, "I think it's by Joan Baez."
Right.
But, you know.
Wow.
You know I got to ramble. My feet start going down.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, it's amazing. And that was their signature song until, of course, Stairway to Heaven. Because that was the perfect example of Led Zeppelin, heavy and light.
All right, so let's go to the next example.
This is the
Dazed
killer
and Confused.
example.
Now, Dazed and Confused is certainly one of the best-known Led Zeppelin
They
songs.
highlighted their live set.
This is Jake Holmes. This is the guy who wasn't credited.
That's an interview.
I'm dazed and confused since days ago. Am I being choosed? I'd just like to know. Give me a clue as to where I am at.
Sound familiar? Here's Led Zeppelin. By the way, I mean, Jake Holmes must have gone berserk when he
Wait
heard
till I
this.
tell you the Jake Holmes story.
I want to hear this. Let's listen. I mean, everyone knows Dazed and Confused. I mean, that's a dead ripoff.
Highlight of their live set.
People quiet.
Just give Jake Holmes the credit, at least.
Been dazed and confused for so long, it's not true.
I mean,
Tell you something. Jake Holmes, 17 years went by before he knew about it.
how is that possible?
I found, this is the original ad. Yardbirds, Youngbloods open, and Jake Holmes was the third on the bill. This is where they first saw him play it and took it. Here's the review from the New York Times.
What'd they
that
say?
day. They said, Yardbirds are great, and this new guy, Jake Holmes, and blah, blah, blah. By the way, Jake Holmes is a very unknown
But
person.
how is it? Led Zeppelin was so famous. How did he not know for 17 years? He never listened to a radio?
No, he made several albums and then went into the jingle business. In fact, he's one of the most famous jingle writers of all time. He wrote the famous Army jingle, Be All You Can Be.
Yeah,
He
that's
wrote
Jake
that.
Holmes.
And he also was an arranger for the Four Seasons, did a lot of different stuff. Next time you have Joan
But
Rivers on...
nobody ever walked up to him and said, "Hey, I heard Zeppelin's Dazed
Yeah,
and
they
Confused."
did, but not till years later. He was out of the music business.
Wow.
But this guy is in New York now. Hopefully someone will tell him, because we're going to cover this case, and I want him to come
You
on
think
as a
he
witness.
still doesn't know?
Oh, he knows now.
Now he knows.
But he's never gotten paid?
No, and here's the killer. The Yardbirds are back together. They have a new album out, and they're back, and they play the song. Now,
No.
they give him credit now.
There's a little bit more of Jake Holmes.
Then you act like a cat. I'm dazed and confused, hanging on by a thread.
This is Bert Jansch and his song Blackwater
Side.
He wrote it in 1966. Sound familiar to you? Listen to this Led Zeppelin. It's called Black Mountain Side.
Well, they did write it then.
They changed the name from Blackwater Side to Black Mountain Side. You believe this shit?
I'm really disgusted.
There, you can't even tell the difference.
Now, here's something you don't know, is
Right.
that Jimmy Page in the Yardbirds on their last album, Little Games, did a song called White Mountain Side, which
Wow.
he took Black Mountain Side, made it from White Mountain was stolen from Bert.
What is your point on Dear Mr. Fantasy, by the way?
Well, when you hear the riff in there, that's one that could go either way, but the
Right.
riff in there is definitely close to the next song.
That's Traffic, of course. Dear Mr. Fantasy.
Yep. Dave Mason, Steve Winwood.
Great tune.
And what? This is Your Time Is Going to Come from Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Similar. Yeah, there it is. I could see that one. Led Zeppelin, Communication Breakdown. Oh, let's see. Eddie Cochran's Nervous Breakdown. Here, I'll just do a couple of these.
Oh,
real
that
quick.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a having a nervous breakdown, a mental shakedown.
Communication.
Nervous Breakdown, Communication Breakdown. Damn.
And again, I have an interview with Robert Plant where he says Eddie Cochran was a huge influence, and they actually, if you listen to the BBC recordings, there's a couple of Zeppelin songs where in the middle of it they do a couple of Eddie Cochran riffs.
Taurus doing Taurus.
This is the Stairway to Heaven. This is Taurus.
This is Taurus.
I mean, is there any doubt?
No doubt.
Plus,
They stole from No Doubt?
Wow, that's pretty heavy. And of course, we
Now,
all know the hit song.
if you go to, oops, wow.
That really is just a brilliant cover.
Here's I Can't Quit You, Baby.
Well, I can't quit you, babe.
And then you got
I can't quit you, babe.
I mean, come on. It's
Bend the guy over and fuck him.
Otis Rush wrote that song, but Led Zeppelin didn't give him any credit. Listen, Denny, I love you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And I think it's a great idea for a show. All these rock and roll trials.
Well, I hope somebody calls up and says, we want to produce it. That's what I'm out there pitching it to.
Check out Denny Somac's website at classicrockcentral.com. Thanks for coming in, Denny.
Thank you
we'll
for
be
having
back
me, Howard.
right after these words.